Now, I'm not one to gossip, but I will bring you the tea. Welcome to Chronicle Speaks.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
We have officially made it to trial day number 18, but before we get into 18, let's recap trial day number 17. Now, day 17 of Sean P. Diddy Combs' federal trial, the court focused on key testimony from Brianna Bongolan, digital forensic expert Enrique Santos, as well as the infamous Jane Doe. Now, Miss Brianna Bongolan, who is a close friend of Cassie Ventura, returned to the stand for cross-examination. Now, although she never worked directly for Combs, she testified about multiple disturbing incidents she witnessed while spending time with Cassie, including an incident where she claims that Combs dangled her over a 17th-story balcony. Now, the defense questioned the accuracy of her timeline, introducing evidence that Combs was not in Los Angeles on September 26, 2016, the date that Bongolan originally associated with her assault. Brianna clarified, however, that she never really was certain of the exact dates. To attempt to back up her claims, prosecutors introduced a September 30th, 2016 text exchange between Cassie Ventura and Christina Coram, Combs' former chief of staff. In the message, Cassie described a similar incident, writing, "He came into my house while my friends were here and we were all sleeping. They woke me up because he was ringing the bell crazy at 3 a.m. Prosecutors argued that this message aligns with Brianna's account and supports the credibility of her testimony. Defense attorney Nicole Westmoreland questioned whether Brianna's memories were influenced by emotion or hearsay or even money rather than concrete, verifiable facts. She highlighted the lack of direct evidence tying Combs to the alleged assault on her, trying to frame her testimony as subjective. She was also questioned about the delay in coming forward. They questioned Brianna waiting years to speak out, using the delay to suggest her story may have been influenced by recent lawsuits or media coverage rather than rooted in consistent and timely report of events. Now, one of the biggest events from yesterday is when Judge Subramanian reprimanded Sean Combs through his attorney Agnifilo after noticing that Combs was shaking his head during Brianna Bongolan's testimony. The judge issued a stern warning for him to stop, making it clear that any visible reactions to witness testimony, such as head shaking or gestures, would not be tolerated in the courtroom. Subramanian reminded Agnifilo that the jury could see Combs and that such behavior could be considered an attempt to influence or intimidate witnesses, whether intentional or not. The warning served as a reminder that all parties, especially the defendant, must maintain courtroom decorum. In other words, the judge told him,
"Sit your $5 ass down before I make change."
I guess that means you need to shut the up. That's what I do if I had no army. I would shut up. Shut the
Now, the court also heard from Enrique Santos, who is a digital forensic analyst. Santos testified that he extracted data from 3 iPhones belonging to Cassie Ventura. He explained that investigators were able to recover numerous deleted records from the devices, including text and call logs. Santos noted that some recovered messages were missing contact names or contained strange characters, which can occur during data corruption or deletion. He also clarified that the date of a screenshot does not necessarily reflect when the actual message exchange took place. After delivering this technical but crucial testimony, Santos was dismissed from the stand. Yesterday, we heard from an anonymous girlfriend of Diddy, only known as Jane. She spoke about how she met Diddy in 2020 when he was dating her then friend. She said that she quickly became consumed by Sean, and then he started freak-offs, which they called instead hotel nights or debauchery. And despite what she testified were repeated comments about not wanting to do so, she said she was coerced into having sex with escorts about 90% of the time that she saw him. She says, "My feelings of obligation really started to stem from the fact that my partner was paying my rent." She told the jurors after explaining he was paying her close to $10,000 a month for a rental home and would often threaten to stop sending her the funds. Now, you may not know it, but Jane was part of the reason why Diddy was unable to get bail. During the initial bail hearing, the government alluded to a potential second victim, arguing that Combs' contact with this purported victim were evidence of obstruction. According to the prosecution, after Diddy's home was raided, he contacted this victim and he was like, "Look, we're friends. Those nights that we had, you actually liked it, right? I didn't force you to do anything. And you want to keep this rent thing going, right? And he also contacted his accountant and told his accountant, don't do anything stupid. Make sure you continue to pay her rent. Diddy's team said that despite the government's claim, this woman was not a victim of trafficking, and the defense had learned that the government at the time had not even spoken to her, nor was she the target of any obstructive conduct by Combs. However, sis turned, but now she is sitting on the stand testifying against the man that we all know as Sean P. Diddy Combs. We are going to get into trial day number 18 and so much more, but before we do, please be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any news regarding this case and so much more. Now let's get back into it. So just a little housekeeping, there was a document uploaded last night, and it's a court order addressing Diddy's complaint that he can't make phone calls from the jail to speak with his legal team. Now, even though he's allowed 300 minutes a month, the defense says that he hasn't been able to use them. Now, the judge ordered the jail to investigate whether a technical issue is blocking Diddy's calls and to report back to him on June 6, 2025 to let him know what's going on. So before the jury is brought in, the judge says, what about the screenshots of the text between Ms. Ventura and Ms. Coram? Alexandra Shapiro says only the text should be admitted, not the photo. Prosecution says the jurors should know it's a screenshot, not a text. Prosecution says, my error, I only looked at the first message. I apologize. Judge says you may like screenshots as opposed to text. Prosecution says we. Judge says I'm not done. I'm sorry for interrupting you, Judge. Judge says I understand. I'm just not sure this is the hill you want to DIE on. Combs' attorney Driscoll says these texts, you have thousands of videos of me performing every weekend on your phone. They are backwards looking and hearsay. We argue that Mr. Combs was upfront about the non-monogamous nature of the relationship, as Jane said. Prosecutor says in their opening, they attacked Jane's credibility, called it all consensual. As you heard yesterday, Jane felt coerced. They have opened the door. Judge says they are admissible to rebut the defense's opening, so it's appropriate to introduce those statements. Diddy's attorney Driscoll said the government sent us 6 years of text messages, then they somewhat reduced them. We stand by our objections. The foundations have not been laid. Judge says the government should lay the foundation. Prosecutor Johnson says we have laid it. Judge says bring in the jury and the witness. Prosecutor Comey says, good morning. How many times did you travel to Las Vegas? Once on Sean's plane. He was hosting an event. Then he wanted entertainment for the night. We had that. What do you mean? An entertainer. We had SEX. What did going off the grid mean? Getting free?
I had to go off the grid in order to really lock in.
Did Sean call you a freak? Yes, he wanted me to be wild and sexual. Did you ask Sean if entertainers could wear rubbers? Yes, the first time with Don and another, Sean guilty tripped me out of it. It's not something he wanted to see. What was his tone? Condescending? Did he say why he did not want to see the entertainers wear a rubber? He did not want to see a rubber. Did you raise it ever when sober and not in a hotel room? Yes. Was this ever recorded? Yes. One that I am not aware of. I'm trying to ask the entertainer if he could wear rubber. He's looking for it. Prosecutor Comey said, I'd like to call up this exhibit with an aide. Did you listen to this? Yes. And did you read the transcript that's up on the screen? Yes. The screen is not visible to the gallery. The audio is being played and it's very scratchy. Okay, so let's start at 8 minutes and 20 seconds. When you said, I think they're in a chair, what were you referring to? The rubbers. And what did you understand what Sean meant when he said you're just going to take the DICK? That we had just had intercourse. And when he said if you don't touch yourself right now, what was he saying? To just move on. Why did you think you needed permission from Sean for the man having SEX with your body? Wear a rubber. Objection. Overruled. Prosecution asked for sidebar. Judge says sure. Now, while they're on a sidebar, I want to reference the fact that in 2023, Jane sent a message to Combs saying, I don't want to feel obligated to perform these nights for you. Ever since I opened up Pandora's box, I've never been able to close it. I feel it's the only reason you have me around and why you pay for my house. I don't want to feel obligated to perform these nights. Combs responded, girl, stop. So now they're back from sidebar. And Comey said, why did you not just say no? He'd get agitated. How would intercourse with an entertainer end? He'd finish on me. Then what with Sean? We'd have SEX. Would you clean up after the entertainer let off? No. Why not? Sean liked it. To play around with it.
You nasty.
Then what? I'd take a shower and get ready for the next one. Typically, how many rounds? Objection. Overruled. Every entertainer was different, some 3. Who would decide if you could stop when you were tired? Sean. She starts to cry. Do you need a moment? She cries. I'm sorry. What was your question? How do you say you wanted to stop? I'd say like, I'm hungry. Make little faces. I sent him subtle cues. What would he say? He'd say, you're not getting tired on me, are you? Let's go out on a high note. Let's finish strong. She continues to cry. What would Sean give you to keep you awake and having sex with the entertainers? Ecstasy. Did you ever cry after one of the hotel nights? Twice. Tell us about the first. I thought it was a date night, one-on-one, but he said there would be an entertainer, but just a quick one. I hung on to that, but 18 hours? And after 18 hours and 3 rounds with the entertainer, Sean said he had to leave. I started crying. I had just gone through all of that, and I was feeling terrible that he was going to leave me all alone. Were you with someone else? I was with Sean. It was in the Waldorf in Beverly Hills, early in the relationship. What did Sean say? Are you crying? Like looking disgusted. Then he sat there and listened to music, and he smoked. I was just clinging to him. He said he could move things around with him and his family, and I could go home with him. I just wanted to be in his arms after all that. Okay, Jane, and the second time, I was in the shower after one of the nights, and is your memory spotty? What do you remember? I was so high. I was having sex with Paul. Then I was in the shower with Sean, and I just started crying. I couldn't stop. He said, stop it. Don't do this right now. Stop. I'm too high. Paul, one of the entertainers who did most of the work during the hotel nights. Me. Her voice starts cracking. Were the hotel nights work for you? Objection. Overruled. It was work from start to finish. What did you do to try to get them to end sooner? I try to have sex with the entertainers fast. What did you do to try to speed things up? I do foreplay and bring them into the room. Sean would say, slow it down, more foreplay. What words did he use? Time frame. Okay, so May 2021 to October 2023, what did Sean say? He would say, I'm not ready to see that yet. How did you feel? Sidebar. Sure, says the judge. Okay, so now they're back from sidebar. How did you feel? I'd want to be with Sean at the end. Where would you go? To his residence. Was there any part of these hotel nights that you enjoyed? Being with Sean? Jane testified that after the hotel nights, she and Sean P. Diddy Combs would typically go back to his house together. Jane said she would make sure Combs was showered, and then she would cook for him, massage him, and put on one of his favorite shows. Then I would finally get to cuddle with him and sleep with him, she said, while choking up on the stand. She said she would feel really happy at the end of the night that she was with Sean, but I would really fight to block out just how sad I felt after. What would you text him? To say I love you? Did you text that you wanted to have sex? Yes, with him. Did you text him that you wanted to have sex with others? Yes, it was his fantasy. Did he tell you what to text? Yes, he asked, what do you want? Be explicit. Why did you write these things? I wanted to make my lover happy. Look at this one from November 9, 2021. What did you write? I wrote, I'm horny for you. You don't have to read this, but you write, I want to S-U-C-K, pause, D-I-C-K.
Oh my God!
Why did you write that? I knew it would turn Sean on. Who is Paul? An entertainer. You text him you wanted to stop having hotel nights? Yes. What did you write here? I'm so much more than being left in a dark hotel room. My heart is breaking. I don't want to play this role in your life anymore. I feel it's the only reason you pay for the house. We need to talk like adults. How long had Sean been paying your rent? 5 months or so. Did you see drugs in the hotel rooms? Objection. Overruled. Ecstasy, Molly, cocaine, pink powder, which I think is called Tucci. Who gave them to you? Sean. Did you ever see any of the entertainers taking drugs? No. That was my one rule. I told them they couldn't take any drugs. I didn't want them to be out of control while they were with me. How did ecstasy make you feel? Sexual energy. Why did you feel you had to take the drugs? Otherwise, it would be too real. I wanted to, I don't know, feels like. She sobs. It would make things easier. Did you ever do hotel nights without drugs? Twice, once with Paul. Why didn't you take drugs that time? I didn't want to do that to my body, but it just felt too real, so I asked Sean for a pill. Did Sean give it to you? Yes, I felt better. The second time, my partner was taking too many pills. He said, I'll do 30 days without drugs, but let's just do one last sobriety party for the Lamartage. How long did it last? Too long, 18 hours. What happened? The first guy, the second guy, I was not feeling well. I threw up. I told Sean I'd just thrown up. What did he say? He said, that's good. Now you're ready for the third guy. He's here. Damn.
No, she wasn't ready. She wasn't ready.
How did you feel? I was just disgusted. I was just repulsed. I was just too mad at myself. Jane said, I was mad that I let myself get into this. Comey asked, this would be a good time for a break. Judge says, I agree. They go on break. During the break, Combs is having these animated conversations with Ignifilo, Shapiro, and Steele, talking with his hands. All right, now they're back from break, and they bring Jane back in. All rise. Comey said, did Sean ever run out of DRUGS during a hotel night? Yes. What happened? He would call one of his assistants or butlers to bring more DRUGS, sometimes his security. What assistants? Brendan, Frank, John, and I'm sure you all remember Brandon Paul because in March 2024, Paul was arrested at a Miami airport while trying to board a private jet with Combs, and authorities claimed that he had cocaine and marijuana laced candy on him. Now, he was labeled by some as Diddy's alleged DRUG mule based on accusations in related lawsuits. However, it was confirmed by his attorney on December 17, 2024, that Mr. Paul's case was formally dismissed in its entirety. Brandon accepted the prosecutor's offer to permit his entry into the diversion program, which after completion, the case against him will be dismissed in its entirety. Prosecution says, let me show you a photo of Brendan. This is not shown on the gallery screen. She says, that's him. He would bring pill bottles. Then there would be cocaine, weed. Who from the security did he call for DRUGS? Fahim. Sean called him Fa. Who else brought DRUGS? Guido. He brought mostly ecstasy, Molly, and Xanax, and cocaine. Did you take Xanax? Yes, after I put Sean to sleep. Did you ever carry DRUGS for Sean? Yes, from LA to Miami. KK told me I'll have security come out and give you the package. I asked, is it safe and okay? What did KK tell you? She said, it's fine. I do it all the time. I'm going to ask again, where the hell is KK? Jane continues that she flew with DRUGS to Miami and later took ecstasy with Combs that she said came from the package she traveled with. A couple of weeks later, Jane said Combs asked her to take another package to Miami, and Coram told her that security would come outside of Combs' home to give her the package. According to Jane, Christina told her to put it in her checked luggage. Jane said she would put the package in her luggage and flew to Miami. She then said she gave the DRUGS, which she said was ecstasy, to Combs, and they took the DRUGS together. Prosecution continues. Where did you give Sean the package? In the bathroom of 2 Star. He opened it and then I saw a colorful pill. I assumed, I don't want you to assume, did you take the pills? Yes, for a hotel night. It was ecstasy. Before May and October 2021, who reached out to the entertainers? Sean. Then who? Me. Why did you start choosing? I didn't want it to be a stranger. I assessed the dynamic of our relationship. We were watching PORN and I saw a performer and said, that one. Why did you want to choose? I couldn't get away from this. Who did you choose? Sly Williams. I called him Chef. He had a passion for cooking. What were you and Sean doing? Having sex on ecstasy. We started talking about Sly's size. Sean was acting all flirtatious about it. I sent Sly a message over Instagram. Did he respond? Yes, I told him I was a fan of his work. Maybe we should meet up one day. We did a FaceTime. Sean was there. What happened? It got hot and steamy. I asked him to show himself. He showed himself in his Johnson. Yes, and I was casting from my phone to Sean's television. How did you get Sly from Atlanta to LA? I told Sean I would arrange his flight. I booked it online on Expedia. Sean paid me back. Jane also testified that Diddy's travel agent Jess once booked the flight for Sly. Why did Jess book the flight? I was too high to type. He'd be the entertainer for the night. What happened? He was cute and sweet. He was nervous too. It was my first time. First time what? Contacting an adult film star. I had told him it was me and my partner. He said fine. What hotel? L'Hermitage, I believe. It was the routine. The oils would come out. I'd be in uniform. I'd dance. Then sex. What would Sean be doing? Pleasuring himself. Then who invited him the next time? I did. I would suggest Sly. He was familiar to me. Where else did you meet Sly? The Trump Hotel. The Trump Hotel in New York? Yes, I would book his flight from Atlanta. And you paid him afterwards? Yes, $2,000 to $4,000. Where from? Objection. Where did the cash to pay Sly come from? Sean, from the drawer. Sometimes he used Cash App. In other messages from March 2022, Sly sent Jane an explicit image and said he missed her. Jane wrote, "looking good," and 2 smiley faces, according to the messages that she read in court. She testified her response was more bland because she wasn't with Combs. "When I'm in my sober mind receiving messages, it's kind of not something that I'd like to see." Was there a second adult entertainer you'd reach out to? Yes, Anton. I think Anton Harris. It was his stage name. I don't know his real name. We were watching Anton's films and I was really into him. I messaged him on Instagram. He was in LA. I invited him over. How did Anton respond? Positively. We were in my first residence. What happened? The same. Sean watched. He was happy. Did you see Anton again? Yes, sometimes at hotels in LA, sometimes in my apartment. Did you FaceTime with Anton and Sly? Yes, when Sean and I were alone having sexy time. Why would Sean call them? He wanted something live. I was doing like sexting FaceTimes and screen sharing to Sean's TV. I told Sly and Anton I was alone so they would feel comfortable. Did you ask Sly and Anton to send you pictures of their Johnson? Yes, Sean wanted them. He would say, "Get it." Did Anton or Sly ever send you photos of their Johnson when you were not with Sean? Yes, I was polite and flirtatious, but not as flirtatious as I was when I was with Sean. Did you ever see Anton or Sly in person without Sean? No. Are these your texts with Sly? Let me show you. The texts are not shown on the gallery. I was asking for explicit photos and videos from him. That's what my partner wanted. What did Sly say? He said, "I'm down." And who are the other entertainers? Paul and Don. Sean coordinated others. Between May 2021 and October 2023, how often were the hotel nights? Every week? Every other week? After February 2024, where did this happen? 2-star and in LA. In the LA residence you were living in? Yes. Okay, after February 2024, maybe 5 times. How many different men? I don't know. Let's talk about some. Who's this? Don. Okay, and when was the last time? August 2024 at 2-star. I only saw Don in Miami. Who's this? Paul. When was the last time? End of July 2024. Before that, very often. What did you think Paul did? A personal trainer for Sean in LA, Miami, and Turks. How did Paul get there? He booked his own travel or he'd already be there. Who's this? A man named Leo. I met him through Sean for one of the nights. I met him on my birthday. Last time? 2023. Where did you see Leo? LA. What else did you call him? Italian. Who's this? A guy Sean brought into the night in 2021. What happened? Sean said he had someone coming over. I was repulsed. In the L'Hermitage. He looked sweaty. He didn't look nice. He kind of smelled. What did you do? I tried to make it work. I tried to seduce him with my body. He just kept sweating so much. I looked at my partner. I'm not feeling this. I was in lingerie and heels. What was he wearing? Nothing. Sean said, "Do you want to taste it?" I said, "I'm not feeling this." What did Sean do? He laid me down and started having sex with me. Where was the man? Hovering over me. He was sweating on me. Then what? Sean told me to look at the man's private part, but it wasn't happening. Sean told him, "No worries," and the man left. Then what? Sean told me he had someone else coming. Paul. I was blindfolded. Sean wanted me to touch him. I took a liking to Paul. I was more comfortable. I thought he was handsome and nice, and he had a warm energy. Did you want to have sex with him? No, but if I had sex with someone, I guess it was not so bad with Paul. What's this? A photo of a man named Michael. I saw him twice in 2022 or 2023 in the Edition, Los Angeles. Sean said something new was coming. Then, like just a bit later, Sean was having small talk with this guy on the balcony. He invited me out. I thought Michael was attractive. He was from a website. Who's this? I don't know his name. I met him on my birthday in 2023. One of these nights. What happened? Sean told me to come to Miami. We would be alone. He was so sweet. We were eating sushi at Nobu in the hotel. Sean said, "We have entertainment." I gulped and said, "An entertainer?" What did he say? "It's your birthday." I just accepted it. Why? I don't know. Upstairs, this man comes in. It was the routine. I'm like a robot. I'm getting the guy comfortable. She starts to cry. Do you need a break, Jane? You said you were robotic. What did you mean? I have done so many of these, I can just tune out. My partner likes to see it. I just turn on this person. What do you mean you turn into another person? A person that can just do this? What happened? I was much quicker with this person. He felt more like a stranger to me than anyone. I don't want to do this on my birthday. I asked Sean for a rubber. Where was he? He was behind the man.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
He gave me dirty looks like you better not be asking for an effing rubber. I could just hear that. What else did you hear him say? Objection. Overruled. I didn't want to sour the mood. Why didn't you want to sour the mood? She starts to cry. I just didn't want my partner unhappy with me. Do you need a break, Jane? No, I'm okay. What happened next? If you're ready to tell us. Sean gave him a rubber, but then walked away. He was so disappointed. The guy finished. I can't remember where. What next? The man left. We switched rooms to a bigger suite. What then? Sean was more loving. He was celebratory. He had cake there and balloons. Then Sly comes. Any talk? No, it was just hours and hours of pleasing this guy, doing so much, just doing all of it. Foreplay, things I know my partner wants to see, going back and forth. It was morning. Then what did Sean say? That Don was coming. What did you say? Nothing? That it was fine. Why? Because I love my partner. What did you do with Don? SEX. Let's break for lunch. Jane leaves. Agnifilo says, could we have a quick sidebar with the government about something I'd like the court's advice on? Yes, the sidebar ends and they go to break. Okay, so now they're back from lunch break. Prosecutor Comey says this afternoon we'll be showing some explicit exhibits in binders, so not on counsel's screen, but counsel can come up and see them. Judge says, okay, bring in the witness and the jury. All rise. Prosecutor Comey says, have you seen this man? Sean brought him to our hotel room in LA. I was in a robe and lingerie, the whole wardrobe I usually had. What happened in this living room of the suite? I knew this was something I could not fake. What do you mean? I was repulsed by him. I tried for 30 minutes. Then I told Sean, can I talk to you in the bedroom? There, I told him I can't. I tried again, but I just can't. No. I told Sean, I'm so sorry. How did Sean respond? Agitated. Then another man came. Did Sean talk to you first? No. Who's this? A man I met in New York. I told him I didn't want to go to New York if it was to set me up with a man. He said no, one-on-one. So I went. Did you get Wi-Fi on the plane? Yes. Sean sent me a text. Do you want entertainment for the night? How did you feel? Disappointed. My thoughts of seeing my lover was shot down. Where did you go to in New York? The Trump Hotel. I saw his assistant setting up the room with red lights for a hotel night. I took this photograph. The photograph is shown but not to the gallery screen. What happened next? I told Sean I don't want to do this. He was just like super defensive. On the way back to the room, Sean gave me a pill. What was it? Ecstasy. I took it. The man was in the room. He had small talk. I let the man touch my leg a little bit. I took Sean to the bedroom and told him I can't do this. How did Sean react? Agitated. According to Jane, this wasn't like a typical thing for us to have like a hiccup in the routine of the night. I called another performer. Why? That's a hard question. At that point in the relationship, I knew that's what my partner would want. Was Sean paying your rent? Yes. Did he mention it? Objection. Judge says, time frame. Was this after Sean started paying your rent? Yes. I called Sly. He was excited. He flew to New York that night from Atlanta. What happened? It was nice. We had SEX in front of Sean at the Trump Hotel. Me and Sean had to go our separate ways, but I didn't want Sly to feel we were just leaving him, so cash was brought to the front desk for him by an assistant. Which one? Joey. And this man? I had SEX with him in front of Sean. And another? A Spanish buff man, but he was a bit odd. I felt he was pulling out this scent to smell during SEX. I don't know. In front of Sean? Yes. Another? A man looked like European at the L'Armitage. We had SEX twice. Which entertainers did you see most often? Paul, Sly. Which ones did you reach out to? Them, Anton, Don. Did you ever arrange hotel nights as a surprise for Sean? Jane admits that she did. She says those instances were probably for special occasions such as Valentine's Day or Combs' return from a long trip. Jane said that she would hear the gray lines in between his words that implied that he wanted sexual performances to happen. Combs would say things like, I can't wait to see what you have in store for me. I just knew what the task was being asked of me. When asked why she set up hotel nights for Combs even though she didn't want to, Jane said, I loved him him very deeply. You saw Cash during these hotel nights. Where? In the drawer or the nightstand. When Sean ran out of cash, what did he do? He made a phone call to his security or assistants. KK, cash would appear. How much? A good amount. To whom did Sean hand cash? Paul, Don, he'd pay at the end. What would Sean say before he brought out his iPhone to record? Nothing, or it's just for me. Did Sean sometimes act different? Sometimes happy, sometimes not. What directions would Sean give? To put baby oil on the man, to touch myself. When you knew the camera was on you, how did you react? It was just part of it. Did Sean ever record you while not on DRUGS? No. Did you act like you enjoyed it? Yes. Why? I wanted to put on a good show. What fantasy talk did you engage in? So much. Role play, a fantasy. I'm sorry, there are just so many memories. He would create characters. I'm going to show you some exhibits, not on the council screens. Who is this? Me and Don. The next one is me and Sly. And this is me and Paul. Then me and Leo, Anton and myself. Was Sean present for all of these? Yes. I wore the stripper shoes the whole time. What would happen with the baby oil? It would drip down in the shoes. I would try to keep my balance. Did Sean ask you to get your NIPPLES pierced? Yes. He said it would turn him on. Who set up your piercing appointment? KK. Then they got on my lingerie and my NIPPLES got infected. I took them off. What did Sean say? He said, where are my piercings? This is the last time I see you without them. Did your back hurt? Yes, from bending over so much. What else got sore? My vajayjay. Did you tell Sean? No. Why not? I just didn't want to indicate any negativity. Why did you keep going? I'm not sure. Jane states that she developed UTI or yeast infections after nearly every freak off. She testified her back and shoulders often hurt afterwards because I would be at the edge of the seat or the edge of the bed in the position that he, Sean Combs, liked. Sometimes Combs would make Jane have sex with escorts and another freak off before her previous UTI had healed. It felt like burning and constant urination. Her pelvic area also hurt during freak offs, but she didn't feel comfortable complaining because Combs wanted her to stay positive. Jane said he would become upset, defensive, belittling, dismissive on multiple occasions when she suggested pausing the session. The judge says sidebar. They go into the sidebar. Now they're back. Do you have any estimate of how many times you told Sean you didn't want to keep doing the hotel nights? I don't have an estimate. Did you write? Yes, sometimes I had the courage to text it to Sean. What did you see in the text messages? That I had been texting it since 2021. What's this? Text exhibit not shown on the screen. November 2021, I felt jealous. I saw he was doing things with another woman on their IG stories. Why did you feel jealous if you knew he was dating other women? I came to do hotel nights with Don and Sly. I felt mistreated. I was coming there to do a hotel night, and when I'm leaving, he's giving another woman all this quality time that I was begging for. This next text, I wrote, I need a breather and a break from you. This doesn't make me feel good at all. Your true intentions with me are in plain sight. Play this exhibit, a voice note. Combs said, she asked me to work out. This is the time you're gonna curse at me? I don't have a bunch of guy friends. Don't matter if I just effed her. Be sad. Go crazy. I don't deserve being honest with someone. How often did Sean call you crazy? Often. It made me feel confused. What did you say? That she didn't just come to the gym. I don't even care who you are laying up with. I wanted the time with him. I said, you just want the hotel shit. Okay, and what happened here? I had sex with Leo. I was high. It made my partner happy. I was okay with it. How many phones did Sean use then? 2. Sean started dating another woman. He did a big birthday party for her. How'd you see it? On IG? What did you say? I see what you were doing for her. Why do you play me? You say she's just a business partner? Then you say she's spending money on you? How would you feel if I said a man was spending money on me? You wrote, I feel cheap. Jane testified that she was jealous of the other women and how Combs treated them. Growing emotional, Jane said, I was being treated like I was the one who had to take this on. I had to take all of this on and they didn't. At one point, Jane texted Combs, it's not me you want or miss. Jane testified that in a text she meant, it's not me that you want, it's these hotel nights. Jane said after the text conversation with Combs, he FaceTimed her and calmed her down. It's something Combs would do after having a fight about the hotel night. He would say all the things I wanted to hear. He would say that it's not what I'm thinking. He would just downplay whatever I was freaking out about and said that he loved me and he missed me and he wanted to see me. After the first hotel night in May 2021 with Don, what did you do next? out on a yacht, and later, we would just sleep after hotel nights. What did you write in this note? I wrote, why am I just your freaky desire? Did you send this to Combs? No, I did not have the courage. In this note, I wrote, you were partying with another girl. You just want me for debauchery. I'm done being used by you. You trashing my house with dirty debauchery. I'm done. And what was this? Right after I spent my birthday having sex with these men in a hotel room, Sean went on a vacation with another girl he was dating. And how did he respond to your text? He wrote, I didn't tell her about your birthday. What did he write to you next? That it looked like I had a nice birthday dinner with my girlfriends. Who paid for that dinner? Sean. But was he there? No. And here when you said you were tired? After 3 men. And what did he write to you here? He wrote, I'm tired of you throwing sex in my face. Let's just be friends. What did you think he meant? Anytime I brought up the hotel nights? What did you write? Are you really breaking up with me? She begins to cry. You were the only man in my life. You took someone else to the place I have dreamt about? Where? Turks? What did he write? He wrote, I'm tired of these long texts telling me what I'm doing wrong. I wrote, what am I doing wrong? Okay, now the judge has called for a break. Now, while the jury is out, counsel for Jane Doe says, I want to bring to the court's attention that there are YouTube accounts that are actively trying to find out Jane's identity. Where we find contact information, we reach out. We are recording live streams. Judge says, do you have evidence if these people are in the courtroom or in the overflow room? Her counsel says, if we find that out, we would ask them to be banned from the courtroom or the overflow room. The judge says, make an ex-parte filing. I'll ask the marshals to investigate. Jane's counsel says, if someone publishes her license, it would violate your order. Judge says, send me what you can. I'll consider it even over the break. Okay, Ms. Comey says, pull up the exhibit. What is this? A note on my notes. Were you writing what you were feeling at the time? Yes, I wrote, you lied straight to my face. You used me for a hotel night before your trip. When you took a break from Sean, where did you travel? France. Sean started texting me again and again. Paris, Paris, Paris. How did it make you feel? That he cared, but I knew I had to stay strong. I went away for 5 days. He was adamant that we see each other. I missed him too. Why? Because I love him. Soon we were planning to go to Turks. I'd go to Miami first. What did Sean write to you? He said a night of debauchery, then to the beach. I said, no, we have to reconnect. He said, cool. Did that turn out to be true? No. What did you do in Miami? We bickered about Paris. He said his girl just can't up and leave like that. And in this photo, our dinner. Then what? He took a pill and we went to a hotel. We were watching PORN and Sean said, do you want Don? What did you say? Yes. Why? I was just used to it. Then we went to Turks. Okay, and in Turks, Paul came in. What happened? I'm back in the outfit. I'm going to try to do this another round. It was really painful. I couldn't have sex. Why not? I was extremely sore at this point. Sean tried to lube me up. He said, you can't take any more DICK. I threw the bracelet and said, you only brought me here to SUCK-DICK for you. I was talking, then sat on the steps of a villa. Did Sean talk? Yes, he said, how can you make me look like that in front of Paul? Sean told me to apologize to Paul. I messaged him and said I was sorry for how I acted, that I was really glad he'd come out to see me. Who told you to do that? Sean, what did you write to Sly? If he could come to Turks, I told him that he'd need a passport and vaccination. What did Sly respond? I'm willing, but I don't have a vaccination card. Why did you do this? To make it up to Sean. Why did you write this way to Sly and Paul? I wanted them to feel good, like they were not being used. Why? I just do. What was the love contract in March 2023? He asked, how much did I want per month? I said 15. He said 10. He started paying your rent? Yes. Who is paying your rent now? Sean.
What the?
Get somebody else to do it.
What else did Sean pay for? My teeth. What do you mean? Sean didn't like my teeth. I got new veneers. He also paid to furnish my house. My allowance just didn't do it. I used 3 credit cards. I had promised him an all-star party. What's that? I'd bring the top 3 guys all in the same night. Why? I was with my lover and he liked that. I told him I have to be awake at 8 a.m. on Sunday. I said that the last time I got sick. Okay, in this first text, he felt hesitation from me about the all-star party. He asked, does your vajayjay hurt? You're not being straight with me. Comey said the tootie a minute later, he quoted my text asking for help with more furniture for the house. Here, Sean writes, Rico is ready. Who's Rico? Maybe the man named Michael? Or wait, maybe it was a role play and Sean was Rico. You don't know? I don't. Why did you show Sean a photo of pink toilet paper? To show that my period was about to come down, that I needed the night off. Let's postpone. What did he write back? You're getting your hair done for nothing. I'm done. And what did you mean movie night was not on my mind? What was that? We would not have an entertainer. We just watch our own movies of the hotel nights. We called it movie night. What did you write? Why do you talk about the father of my child? All because you don't get your way one night and bust it NUT. What does he say back in this voice memo? His voice plays, I don't have time, baby girl. Combs' voice continues, you need to get on your job. How did you interpret that? Making sure he's happy, including these nights? How did you respond? That he always brought up paying for the house. It felt like I don't know this guilt trip. Comey says, I think this is a good time to break for the day and week. Judge says, jurors, thanks for staying late. Avoid any coverage about the case. All rise. The jury leaves. Y'all, that was a lot. That was a lot. That was a whole lot. What I need to do is hear from you. What do you think about everything going on in the Diddy trial? Leave a comment and you know how we do. We'll talk about it down below. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Thanks for watching, but before you go, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any of my new episodes.